Okay, so good morning, class. So we are now in chapter 5, which will cover the strategy formulation. And under this chapter, we will discuss the strategy process, hierarchy of strategies, and the classifications of strategies, plus yung different strategy formulation tools natin, BCG, SPACE, IEG, Matrix, GRAN, and QSPM, and then strategy map and balance scorecard. So for this lecture video, we will just be limited to the first three topics, yung strategy process, hierarchy of strategies, and yung classification of strategies. Okay? So, yun natin yung chapter 5. So, ano ba yung strategic process? Okay? So, it involves planning of activities to establish priorities and achieve the targeted goals of the organization. So, basically then, yung strategic process natin is concerned with decision makings. So, di ba sabi natin, before we can decide or make some decisions, we need to plan. Okay? So, decisions are made only after data from various sources is received and analyze. So this data pertains to our data or analysis from the internal and external. So dyan papasok yung pestle and SWOT analysis natin. By the way, hindi ko na discuss yung SWOT analysis because I was informed by Ma'am Ethel na yung SWOT analysis is already been discussed in AGRIB 10, yung sa intro, tsaka yung sa AN3. So, para din ma-maximize natin yung remaining time natin, I will not cover na yung topics na covered na sa other subjects. Okay? And I believe na familiar na kayo doon kasi twice na nga daw na naituro sa inyo. Okay? So, yun. So, there are 5 stages in the strategic process. So, we have the goal setting, analysis, and then strategy formulation, and then strategy implementation, and then yung last is evaluation and control. Okay? So, in the goal setting, we need to answer the question na what is the vision to be pursued? Okay, so remember, vision identifies the overall direction of the organization. So, parang movement toward the desired future. Ano yung gusto mo ma-achieve in the future or saan mo nakikita yung sarili mo or yung firm mo in the future. So, in this stage, we need to define both short and long-term objectives. Diba? So, our objective should be or should include short-term targets. So, yung short-term targets natin or short-term objectives natin should be covered 1 to 2 years. And it should be measurable, realistic, and feasible. Okay? And then, next is, we need to identify yung process of how to accomplish each objective. Okay? So, we need to strategize. What are the specific activities that need to be done in order to achieve the organization's vision through achieving the organization's short and long-term objectives? Next, we need to customize the process for your staff. So meaning we need to delineate specific tasks for achieving the objectives. So assign the responsibility, accountability, and time frames to each of your staff. Okay? So individual staff should have their responsibilities and tasks in attaining the specific objectives or the vision of the firm. Next is we need to write a mission statement that communicates our goals. Okay, so when we say goal, it describes general ends toward which organization will direct its efforts for the next 3 to 5 years. Okay? And remember na yung mission natin, sinabi natin, it is the organization's purpose and reasons for existence. So, bakit ba nandyan yung company mo? So, you were familiar na kayo sa vision mission, paggawa ng vision mission objectives kasi you've done that in your other subjects. Next is the analysis. Okay? So in this stage, we need to answer what are the barriers to realize the vision. So in order to answer this, we need to gather as much information and data relevant in accomplishing our vision. So ano yung i-consider natin dito? So we need to consider the information and data gathered from the external and internal analysis. So examine natin what are the issues externally and internally that can affect our goals and objectives. So make sure that we can identify. Okay, so wait lang, lumipat ako ng pwesto kasi alikabok. Okay, so asan na ako kanina? So we need to make sure that we are able to identify the strengths and weaknesses of our organization as well as the threats and opportunities that may arise along the path. Okay, so with this, we need to, or we will be able to understand the needs of the business. Okay, so as a sustainable entity, its strategic direction and identifying initiatives that will help your business grow should or must be known. Okay, so here in the analysis, sabi ko nga kanina, we can use the pestle and SWOT analysis. So, an organization's statements may evolve as information is discovered that affects a company's ability to operate in the external environment. As we know, yung external environment natin is continuously changing. Next, after the analysis, after the goal setting and analysis, now we go to strategy formulation. So, we already identified the possible issues that could hinder us in achieving our goals. Now, how or what can we propose to overcome the barriers? So, dito na tayo mag-formulate ng strategy. So, in this stage, we need to determine what resources the business currently has and identify also the areas of which the business must seek external sources or resources. Okay? And also, the issues facing the company should be prioritized by their importance to your success. Diba, nung nakaraang tinuro kong matrix, kailangan nating i-rate yung mga factors depending on their importance in the success of the firm. So, in this strategy formulation, once na na-determine na natin yung resources na meron tayo at resources na kailangan nating kuhanin sa labas, dapat alam din natin dito kung ano yung mga ipaprioritize natin na factors or issues concerning our firm. Next, so strategy implementation na, ito na yung actions. So we need to answer, or yung guide question natin is, what major short-time actions need to be taken? So strategy implementation can be successful, or the success actually nung strategy implementation is critical to the success of the firm because this is the action stage of the strategic process. Dito muna i-implement nga yung mga nagawa mo or yung mga outputs mo for the sa previous steps. So everyone within the organization must be made clear of their responsibilities and duties and how that fits in with their overall or with the overall goal. So bago nga natin siya ma-implement, you need to make sure that everybody knows it. Okay? Clear sila sa responsibilities nila. Sasabi natin kanina, di ba? Kailangan natin i-delineate yung mga tasks. And every staff should have their responsibilities in order to achieve a certain goal. Okay? So, take note that if the overall strategy does not work with the business current structure, a new structure should be installed at the beginning of this stage. ba? May implementation ka na and then nakita mo na hindi siya nag-work, then you have to make a new structure. Okay? So, additionally, any resources or funding for the venture must be secured at this point. Since we are able to identify na yung lackings natin in terms of resources. Next, we need to evaluate and control yung strategy natin. Okay? So what are the, in here, when we are able to evaluate and control, then we can already decide also for the mid and long-term actions that need to be taken. So in this stage, the review of internal and external issues and making corrective actions are done. Okay? So take note that internal and external issues are constantly evolving. So the strategy, evaluation, and control actions include performance measurements. Okay, paano mo malalaman na okay yung strategy mo if you don't have performance measurement? So, you need to have a performance measurement. Okay, so ano yung mga parameters that should be set? So, make sure that these parameters can be measured. So, example is increase in income, increase in sales, increase in employment, what else? So, mga increase in the production, mga ganun. Okay? So, these parameters should mirror the goals set in stage 1. Kasi, syempre, you identified your objectives, so your parameters should be related to those objectives. And then, if you were able to measure it, malalaman mo kung do you need to create another strategy, or you will maintain that strategy formulated. Okay? So, yun yung 5 steps ng strategic process. Okay? So, we have the goal setting, analysis, strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and evaluation and control. Now, let's go to the hierarchy of strategies. Okay? So, eto nabanggit na natin siya nung chapter 1. So, you are already familiar with this. So, we have here yung corporate, yung pinakamataas, and then we have business, and then down to functional. So, here, makikita natin, kasi, di ba, pinakamataas pa rin yung corporate, pinakamataas nga yung corporate, then business and functional. So, the strategies under the corporate level occupies highest level of decision making. Sabi nga natin, sila yung tagagawa talaga ng overall goal nung sa company. The nature of strategies in this level tends to be value-oriented, so based on the values of the corporation or the organization or business. So some of the strategies under this level includes strategies for growth. So when we say strategy for growth, it involves expansion into new products or markets. It can also be strategies for stability. So when we say stability, maintenance of the status of the organization, kung nandun ka na sa top, you need to maintain that. How will you maintain that? And also, they can also give or plan for strategies for renewal. So, meaning redirection of the firm into new markets. Under naman sa business level, so business level strategies seek to determine how an organization should compete. Okay? So, strategies, for example, for cost leadership. So, meaning attaining then using the lowest cost basis of competitive advantage. Okay, so sabi natin, if you have competitive advantage, then we can produce a product at a lower prices compared to our competitors. Another strategy under this level is the strategy for differentiation. So, meaning, you use product features or services to distinguish the firm's offerings or products and services from its competitors. So here you will develop the unique characteristics of your products. Strategies for market focus is also done in this level. So meaning strategies like concentrating completely on a specific market segment. Okay? And lastly, for the functional level strategies, these strategies under this level focus on improving the effectiveness of the operations within a company. Kasi nga functional siya, di ba? So, strategies in this level is done by, for example, the manufacturing department, marketing, materials management, research and development, human resource, and the like. So, that's the hierarchy of strategies. Now, let's go to the classification of strategies. So, we have here four classification of strategies. So, we have integrated, intensive, diversification, and defensive strategies. First, let's take a look at the integration strategies. So, integration strategies allow a firm to gain control over distributors, suppliers, and competitors. So, it can be vertical integration or horizontal integration. So, when we say vertical integration, it can be forward or backward integration. So, forward integration is gaining the ownership or increased control over the distributors or retailers. Okay? So, parang inaano natin, kino-cover na din natin yung mga distributors of our products natin. So, we take control of them. Okay, so we take control of the direct distribution of each product. So, aside from, or instead of um, having our own middleman, as ibebenta pa natin sa iba or distribute pa natin sa iba and then sila yung mag-deliver directly to consumers, tayo na mismo parang kukuhanin na natin yung um, responsibility yun and then tayo na mismo yung mag-deliver ng product natin sa consumers. Okay? So, forward integration. Or, kunwari tayo yung nagsusupply ng raw materials ng isang company. So, instead of supplying our raw materials to that company, gagawin na natin yung ginagawa nilang product and tayo na mismo yung magbebenta sa customers. And also, we have backward integration, so meaning seeking ownership or increased control of a firm's suppliers. So, here naman we have control of the suppliers. Okay, so yung mga nagsusupply naman ng raw materials natin, yung tinitake control natin. Okay? Or we will, instead of kukuhanin natin kukuha tayo ng raw materials sa suppliers, then we can produce our own raw materials needed for our product. For horizontal integration naman, so meaning the company or the firm is seeking ownership or increased control over competitors. So it can be through acquisition, merger, or strategic alliance. So, for example, yung Disney nag-merge siya with Pixar in doing movies. Next, we have yung intensive strategies. Okay, so intensive strategies are strategies that require intensive effort, kaya siya intensive, if firm's competitive position with existing products is to improve. So we have market penetration, market development, and product development. So the aim of intensive strategies is to broaden the market share and to increase the profit by making existing products more effective and by introducing new and various sets of products. Kaya pumapasok dyan si market and product development. So when we say market penetration, it deals with enhancing the share of market by effective and innovative strategies in order to make the present product more effective and attractive compared to the products of competitors. So for example, Apple has a large market share in the industry because of its innovative products and services. Kasi from time to time, nade-develop si Apple, for example, sa iPhone niya, ng new features that overpowers its competitors. Okay? Market development, on the other hand, deals with adding products in different geographic areas. Okay? Kasi part din siya ng pag-increase ng market share mo kasi yeah, you are bringing your product to different geographic areas. So examples are Adidas, Nike, which have entered international market expansion. Diba, sinasakop na nila actually yung as yung buong mundo. Okay? Meron na silang products. And then product development deals with increasing the sales as well as revenues by enhancing the quality of existing products. So, examples na dito, pwede yung pagbabago-bago ng mga flavors, for example, yung pansit canton natin, we have variety of flavors. Yung mga delata natin. It can also be in the packaging rather than the taste of the product. Diba? Kung dati, yung oil natin can be sold lang in per 250 or 550 ml, mga nakabote lang. So some companies decided na um, to provide cooking oil in retail pouches para sa household consumption. Para din mabenta siya dun sa mga family with lower income na hindi ma-afford yung malakihang packages. Okay? Another example, yung converting natin ng landlines into wireless handsets. So, product development. Making changes or innovations to our products to make it more attractive to people. And then, next is we have yung diversification strategies. So, diversification strategies allows the firm to add new but related products and services. So, my example here is Unilever. So, kung makikita nyo din, and if aware kayo, so per yung variation ng products ni Unilever talaga, iba-iba. Diba? From home and personal care to food and refreshment. Makikita dito sa picture yung different products ni under Unilever. So, pwede silang mag-add ng product as long as minsan kasi yun nga, they have related services or product and services. So, for example, yung home and personal care nila, like shampoo, soap, toothpaste, mga panlinis ng CR, dishwashing, so they can have similar production technology and customers. Diba? Kasi meron magka-relate relate din sila in some aspects. And yung for example din yung food and refreshment natin like for example yung ice cream, ketchup, mayo, seasonings, tea, or mga yun nga, seasonings natin, um, they can have similar suppliers. So kahit meron variation dun sa products ni Unilever, andun pa rin yung ano niya, titipid niya since they can have similar suppliers and similar customers and production technology. So malaking ano yon advantage for Unilever. Same production technology, then tas nag-create siya ng variation of products. Similar suppliers and come up with food and refreshment products. Okay? And then, we have defensive strategies. So, defensive strategies naman, the primary purpose of this is to discourage competitors to keep the firm's top position in local and existing market. Okay, so this strategy is most successful to keep up the customer's confidence which no new competitor can disturb. So, example ko dito is yung Blockbuster. Ito yung nauna. Okay, and then yung Netflix. Okay, so, nung una, di ba, si Blockbuster natin, okay, so, nung una, si Blockbuster, okay, is one of the biggest and recognized DVD rental company. So, when Netflix appeared, di ba, si Netflix online na lang siya, then you will subscribe, pay a certain amount, hindi mo na kailangan ng DVDs or so, or what. So, when Netflix appeared, so Blockbuster had to take a defensive strategy in order to fight against the strong competitor. So, anong ginawa niya? So, the Blockbuster launched an online platform then where people had to pay a little amount of money and watch movies online. Useful siya nung una pero again, Netflix offers were preferred by a lot of people in economic terms. Okay, so therefore, Blockbuster went into bankruptcy and liquidated its stores because they were losing so much money. So, yun yung example ng defensive strategy. So, a company's defensive strategies may include offering dealers, distributors special discount or better financing terms just to discourage them to not carry competitors' products. So, sometimes there are establishments that can be seen in Robinson or in SM na hindi makikita sa Robinsons. So, pwedeng ganun. Merong usapan kasi na ito lang yung or dito lang ako pwedeng um, magbigay ng products ko sa SM lang and not with Robinsons. Parang ganun. So, next, entering into an agreement with dealers, distributors to work as the company's exclusive dealers or distributors. Okay, so we have different strategies where we can use to sustain our competitive advantage, okay, compared or with respect to our competitors. So that covers the first part of chapter 5. So please be ready for a quiz on Tuesday. Okay, then next I will again upload a recorded lecture. Okay, thank you for listening.